What is up, boyos? Welcome to the Spoiler Cast on the Lonercast Network, where we are discussing all of the MCU movies in order of release. We are on Ant-Man and the Wasp. Welcome. Join us for this conversation. You can catch us on twitch.tv/lonercast. Join in the conversation. We will answer your questions, especially with this movie, because we don't have a lot to say about this movie, to be honest. Yeah. What did you think about Ant-Man and the Wasp?
You know, I think that this movie was the most harmless Marvel movie of all the Marvel movies. Like, was it bad? I wouldn't say it's bad. Is it good? Not really. It's sort of just a middle of the road, like, action comedy. It reminds me a lot, a lot of people will probably give me shit for this. But I didn't hate this movie as much as everyone else. It reminds me a lot of 2016's Ghostbusters, where it was sort of just like, this is fine. It's fine. It's kind of funny here and there. It's got some jokes, and there's some fun actiony bits. But really, that's it. It's nothing to. I will never watch this movie again.
No. Mischievous Vexen says this is the best Marvel movie, and I would have to
fully agree.
Fully disagree. This movie is extremely dull. There's the only thing I can give it credit for is they stepped out and they did something different with the visual effects of the bad guy, I guess. Where Ghost is like fading in and out, and they obviously did a whole bunch of takes and like made her transparent or whatever. That was cool. They did some cool things with the quantum realm and stuff like that. But this movie is very uninspired. It's very boring. Not everything makes sense in this movie. Nobody's nice. Mischievous Fiction said, I guess the movie did kind of sting. Yeah, it did sting. It's the characters in this movie don't make a whole lot of sense. The bad guys are really bad. They're so bad in this movie. I thought the bad guy in Amazing Spider-Man 2 was bad. This like black market dealer guy is
Walter
really
Goggins?
Bad.
I don't even know he was there. Like I have no fucking clue why that guy was even there. Like I don't know what he was doing. I don't know.
He didn't move the story at all, except to completely derail
just be
any
like
sort of forward momentum we had.
He was just there to be like the true villain, because the ghost villain at the end, it's like, oh, we figured it out. We're all happy and friends now. And and like that whole subplot made no sense too with the ghost, because Morpheus shows up and instead of being like, hey, I need help with this girl, she got blown up and I think you could help us do this. They're like, no, we can't work together because I have to find my wife and this could kill my wife. And my whole thing was like, well, why don't you pull your wife out first and then fix the girl? It seems like that's, the logical step. Just work together, guys. Like, I don't understand. Like, just talk for a second.
Well, even the fact that like we have no idea what the fuck the beef was between the two. It was just like, this guy's an asshole. And then the other guy's like, that guy's an asshole.
We haven't talked in years. Do you know why? Because we hate each other. All right. Okay. Like, there was that was Hank Pym this entire fucking movie. It's like that happened in the past. We have a history with them. This happens because I figured it out. Dude,
we can't go there because I say so. We can't go here because I say so.
You could go back to our Ant-Man review and you will hear me say, I fucking love Michael Douglas in this movie. He's so fucking good. He's like the best part of Ant-Man 1. He's so lame in this movie and like useless. And like I don't like him in this movie, and it sucks because I really liked him in the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked Wasp though. She was cool. She flies. She has little pew pew out of her
I
arm.
thought the fucking fight scenes were really bad in this movie too. Like there was
They
I
weren't
guess
as
the
clever
coolest,
as the first one, you know. Like the
not at
first one
all.
had some like really clever shit where they're like,
Some funny stuff like with the little train set. But this
yeah,
one was like generic. You're on a car chase,
yeah,
and the only different thing is people get big and small. It's like, okay, that's uninteresting, uninspired, very boring. I don't. The music in this movie is so fucking cheesy as well. Like,
yeah,
it's really bad how.
yeah,
And I usually don't listen to the music. Like, I can't hear it because the music is more like a feeling for me. And in this, I just felt like it stood out. And I'm like, oh God, what the fuck are they doing with the music in this? Like, this is just awkward, especially with that first fight scene in the hotel. I'm like, what is going on here? Who decided this was a good sound for this?
yeah.
Um,
And it had some moments where I'm like, that was kind of nice, but that was it. I remember the first one had the same sort of like theme,
yeah,
but I think it was just like better used. It has the campy like boop bop bop boop bop, you know, like the sneaking
yeah.
around, like
Hmm.
this is the mischievous music because we're a comedy,
Yeah,
you know, and
yeah.
it's really lame and not great. Yeah, it's just as bad as Thor. No, it's not as bad as Thor, but like it's just
We'll get to that. We'll
there,
get to that.
because there are some things. I guess I should bring it up. There are some things I like in the movie. You know, I really like his friend Louise. He's funny. He's funny
Oh
all the
God,
time.
I really didn't like Louise.
Oh, I
I
think
feel
he's
like
great. I think he's
for a
hilarious.
comedy, like a comic relief, I think he's one of the worst comic reliefs in the Marvel
I
movies.
think that's absolutely insane. I think he's hilarious. I like what he tells his stories. Michael Pena is a great actor too, and he's a good comedic actor, and he's a good actor, and I hope they use him more and better in the next one. Yeah, didn't like it. Didn't like it. Did like it. Would have liked it more if they used him more properly, because that whole subplot with him made no sense. But I liked him, if that makes sense. I like Michael Pena, and I like his charisma
His
and
energy, yeah.
yeah, as Mischievous Vixen just said, his energy. And I think some of the lines he said was funny. I liked all the stuff with Morrissey. I thought that was hilarious. It actually made me laugh out
Which
loud.
one's Morrissey?
Like his like mom or grandma only had a jukebox that only played Morrissey.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
then later in the movie, Luis calls and it's a Morrissey song. It's pretty funny. I laughed. And yeah, I don't know. There were some other jokes that I like. I think Paul Rudd's pretty good in the movie.
Paul Rudd is good. He's still good. He's probably
I
the better
really
part of
like
this
that
movie.
scene where he becomes the mom. That scene
Mhm.
was pretty funny. Made me laugh quite a bit.
Yeah, where he's holding
Um,
his hand and like the looks that Paul Rudd gives to Pim. I don't remember the actor's name.
Hank,
But
Michael
yeah, Hank
Douglas.
Michael Douglas. The looks that he gives are just so spot on, and you're like, this is
He nailed
awkward
that.
because
He nailed
like
that.
yeah,
And they're like holding
yeah,
hands. Yeah, it's funny.
yeah, it's fantastic. But man, there is not a lot to say to this movie because after I watched this movie, I forgot a lot of what this movie was. It is so unmemorable. Um, man, man, is this movie not very good. I gotta, like, you say it's middling, and I am like, nah, man, this is. I don't. There's not a whole lot of movies that I find uninteresting, and I feel like in this, when we were sitting down, it was just I didn't say a word. I wasn't having a good time. It was just like I'm sitting through this because I have to, you know. Um,
You know what else I liked about this movie, Nick?
especially
Oh,
hold on,
sorry.
especially after Infinity War.
Yeah,
Like this
it's
is a
tough after
really
Infinity War.
bad movie to come out after Infinity War. Anyway, what else did you like about the movie?
I liked Randall Park in this movie.
Who's that?
What's his name? He's the detective guy from WandaVision.
Oh yeah.
I like him.
Yeah, he's good. He is
Jimmy
good.
Jimmy Woo. Jimmy
Yeah.
Woo. Yeah, he's played by Randall Park. I think
Randall
he's
Park is great.
I think he's funny, and I like the moments he has with Scott, like
Mm-hmm.
the moments where like at the end when he's like, well,
Do you want?
do you want to get dinner?
Yeah.
Like that was funny.
I'm kind of free.
And you
Yeah.
see him like trying the card tricks and stuff, which is funny,
Mhm.
and that's continued into WandaVision when he
Where you
shows
see
up and he
him.
does the
Yeah.
card trick. You're like,
Yeah.
hey, he did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Good
like him a
callback.
lot, and I would like a whole show about him because I think he's great.
It would
Um,
be really good.
yeah, there's got to be other things I like about this movie, Nick. There has to be. There must be. I like the daughter. I guess she was kind of funny. Uh,
Mm,
I don't
I
know.
liked
You
I
know what
liked the scenes when Paul Rudd was like a dad.
Yeah,
Like that
yeah.
was kind of nice to see him like he plays a good dad, like a loving, caring dad really well.
Yeah, and I like
Um,
that his like ex and husband or ex and her new husband are just like,
mhm.
oh yeah, that's our Bud Scott, you know, like
Yeah,
they just
yeah,
like him now, like they're just friends now,
yeah.
because he's a superhero.
Um,
How could you not like him? You know, you get it.
and the joke with the trophy, world's greatest grandma, is
Yeah, it
pretty
was good.
funny.
Very much like a Gardeners of the Galaxy sort of joke, but I
Hmm.
liked it. I liked it. Um, I was gonna. Oh, you know what? The thing that made me really dislike this movie the most, though, I think, was just like because the events of Civil War, this movie sort of reset what we had already done in Ant-Man as far as character development between Scott, Hank, and the Wasp. Hope.
Yeah,
You know, like we had already seen them grow as characters and become friends and
right.
colleagues to just come back to this movie where they had to rebuild that relationship again, where
Yeah.
it would have been kind of nice. Maybe you do that for the third movie, but like the second movie, it would have been kind of nice to just have a movie where it's like, we're colleagues now. We work as a
Yep.
unit. You know,
Yep.
that would have been nice. Also, how long between fucking Ant-Man was there between Ant-Man and Civil War where he didn't see Hope in the Wasp outfit? Because I was under the impression she got that Wasp outfit like right at the end of Ant-Man 1, right?
Mhm.
So did Civil War take place like the next day? Because he's like, oh, she has wings, like he had never seen it before in
I
this
don't know
movie.
if, like, yeah, it doesn't explain anything. Like, we see her get the suit, and they're friends at this point,
For
right?
sure, for sure.
And there's got to be a time when they're together
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're
I think it's
like
implied they
working on
boned
their
at this
suit.
point too.
Oh, it could be.
I think so. Yeah, totally.
It could be. But like, yeah, that's a good. Oh, she's got wings and blasters. Why don't I? Oh, we could have done that. Ha ha ha. But like, seriously, they never worked on it together. Like Scott was never invited back to the house to go over anything. Like I feel like this movie just it has a lot of questions and it doesn't answer any of them. It has to redo a whole bunch of shit that was already done.
Yeah.
And
You know,
I
I'm
don't.
still kind of hopeful for, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumanium. Like, I think they could make a cool Ant-Man movie.
Oh yeah.
Um, I just think,
Ant-Man's a cool character, but
yeah,
you have to I feel like Ant-Man is a great character for like espionage movies, not comedy.
espionage.
Well, not like comedy action movies. Like it should be more about like sneaking around and not like I'm a big fucking dude on a fucking skateboard truck, you know?
Yeah,
I,
well, I think it's okay that like Scott is a bit comedic. I
right,
think
yeah.
you got to play Hank and Hope a lot more seriously than they did in this. But like that was the thing. I think they nailed that in the first movie where like like the back and forth between Hank and Scott in the first movie, I thought was way more enjoyable than this movie. Because in the first movie, you, as the movie progresses, you sort of get this like, it's kind of implied like, Hank kind of likes Scott, and Scott is sort of impressing Hank. Where in this one, it's just like, dude, Hank fucking hates Scott, dude.
Yeah.
He just fucking hates Scott. And Scott's a fucking idiot in this movie.
He sure is.
He was so competent in the first movie as like a thief and like very smart. Where this one, they're just like, all right, Paul Rudd, we know we made you more of like an interesting character in the first one, but in this one, you're Paul Rudd. All right?
Yeah.
You're just Paul Rudd again. And it sucks because he was a very competent character in the first one, and they ruined that in this one.
Yep, I agree.
Because you gotta have a reason to like have him stay a part of the team, you know, and him being like really good at security breaches and understanding security and understanding how to crack codes and being like stealthy and sneaky, like. That makes sense. They'd keep him around. In this one, it's like, why do you even keep this guy around?
Yeah.
You know? Like, what the fuck?
Just because of some vision that he had in his head. That actually didn't matter a whole lot anyway.
Because he's stooping hope, I guess. That's why they keep him around, I guess. I don't know. It's very confusing.
Let's get into trivia. Some little fun facts. Because I don't want to spend more than I have to on this stupid movie.
Sure.
Paul Rudd really did learn close-up magic for this movie. He quotes, "I really did learn some of that magic. I haven't really kept it up, but then again, trying to learn to be really good at magic in a short amount of time is like trying to learn violin in a short amount of time."
Cool.
That's cool.
Technically, this is the first movie with a female titular lead in the Marvel universe.
Oh, okay.
Unless you count Guardians with Gamora or Black Widow and Avengers. But but this is the first one where it's like the Wasp. Like, this is her movie.
I see.
You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Just beat out Captain Marvel. Just barely.
Just beat it out. All right. Langston Fishburne, Lawrence Fishburne's son, played the younger version of his character, Dr. Bill Foster.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
At around 32 minutes, Scott grumbles that just wearing a hat and sunglasses does not conceal your identity. This has been a running joke among fans since several MCU characters have used this technique, including Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Black Widow, Winter Soldier, Scarlet Witch, Nick Fury, and Falcon. It's also a common joke among DC fans in regards to Clark Kent Superman, rather flimsy disguise of nothing but glasses. I also did realize in this fucking movie that as soon as they like put on the hat and sunglasses and they go to Lawrence Fishburne's class, he immediately recognizes them in the back of the classroom. And it's like, yeah, he's fucking right. They didn't do shit. Everybody recognizes you.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Stupid.
Arguing over who's playing mom. According to Michael Douglas, he expressed an interest in his wife, Catherine Zeta-Jones, to be cast as his on-screen wife. But Evangeline Lilly and the director Peyton Reed really wanted Michelle Pfeiffer. Which I don't think we saw enough of Michelle Pfeiffer to really have an opinion on how her.
I think it could have been either or because the part was so
barely in it. She'll be in the next one, I'm sure. Like a lot more.
Yeah.
I like Michelle Pfeiffer, you know, Catwoman, whatever. But also, real quick, while we're on the topic, why would she be that old? Not calling out Michelle Pfeiffer. You look great, but like, why would she be like old? Like in the quantum realm, wouldn't she still be only? Because like when Scott's in the quantum realm from Endgame, I mentioned this to you yesterday, but like when Scott's in the quantum realm from the time
Infinity
of
War,
this movie to Endgame, 5 years passes, and it felt like 2 minutes to him or whatever. He felt like he was barely in there.
But you say that, but then again, he's literally on the radio at the end, and they're communicating in real time.
So it's very confusing. I don't understand how that works.
Yeah,
I I just thought it would be like an interstellar sort of deal where like time
No,
moves
yeah,
at different frequencies.
yeah. I understand. You would think so, but like the radio, they would be talking so fucking quick or so slow, depending on how it's affected.
Right.
But like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense
But
with
unless
what
Hank like
we've.
develops some sort of communicator, I don't know.
I don't know that. Then he'd have to do that fucking thing real quick
Well, because
and
it
get the
is,
hell out of
but
there.
also in
Otherwise,
Infinity War, they use the quantum realm to travel through time. That's how they do
dude,
it.
the more I watch these Marvel films like back to back every week,
They start to fall apart.
they start to fall apart. They're not thought up very well. Um,
I mean, in one breath, like that's kind of nice. That means that the directors who are making the movies get like it seems like they get at least a little bit of free reign to do whatever they want, which is good.
yeah,
But
we want that. We want them to take.
But at the same time, you got to have a little bit of continuity there. I don't know what's going on, man.
There's got to be some sort of fact checkers for Marvel.
Yeah.
Like, well, hold on, we can't do that because this. You got to write something else in order to make this work. Yeah. The alien-looking organisms in the microscopic realm, on the way to the quantum realm, are water bears or tardigrades, which have been found in the most extreme environments on Earth, including hot springs, glaciers, and the top of the Himalayas, and deep sea trenches. They can go dormant without food or water for decades and survive incredible temperatures, pressures, radiation, toxicity, and even 7 days in space. I feel like this fun fact is more about tardigrades than it is about the movie, because this movie is very uninteresting.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time finding fun facts. Normally there's like a bunch of like fun facts, but
yeah.
No.
At around 56 minutes, they knew they wanted to feature another scene with Luis Michael Pena, rifling a long story again, but didn't want to repeat themselves. The idea of pitting him against Walton Goggins' villainous Sonny Birch and Truth Serum, though, gave them a way into the scene. That scene was very bad.
The Truth Serum?
The Truth Serum scene. I thought that was very bad, and it stopped the movie in its tracks.
I kind of liked it just because I liked hearing the story about.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a better way to do that.
No, yeah, I agree. I think that was just implemented just to have Luis tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
Because they
had to have a reason behind it. He couldn't just have like
they could have
somebody else and the villain overheard. You know.
Here's a fun fact. Bill Foster, who's played by Lawrence Fishburne, that's a fun fact because Michael Douglas, of course, famously played a character named Bill Foster in the movie Falling Down. You know the movie where he like goes into the fast food chain.
Realm?
He goes into the fast food chain and he's like, fuck this place. I want breakfast, bitch. You remember that movie?
No.
With Michael Douglas, or he's like,
no.
I want breakfast. And then he like pulls out a gun and he's like, I want breakfast now. It's a classic Michael Douglas movie, dude. It's like one of the most famous Michael Douglas movies of all time. It's a great movie. Anyway.
See, these facts aren't very fun.
I think that's a very fun fact.
I'm just giving you shit. Ghost is male in the original comics and part of Iron Man's Rogue Gallery. Never actually crossing paths with Ant-Man, his powers also come from his suit rather than the quantum realm. He eventually became an anti-hero after joining a team of superhumans called the Thunderbolts. Okay.
Cool.
I think that's literally it.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I'm reading some of these and I'm like,
yeah. I see one here, despite being a staple actor in the DC cinematic universe, Lawrence Fishburne has allegedly spent quite some time trying to find a way into the Marvel cinematic universe, describing himself as a Marvel guy. Fishburne pitched a Marvel series. He pitched to Marvel with a series of characters that he could play. He eventually got the role of Bill Foster, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. Lawrence Fishburne in both DC and Marvel has gotten like side characters because he's so good. He could be a main dude.
Yeah,
I mean, he's old,
Um,
but like he could be a Michael Douglas type, you know.
so so this is a fun one. Peyton Reed, who I'm guessing is
Director.
the director, promised Michael Douglas that he wouldn't just be a walking exposition machine this time around. And he fucking made sure of that by not explaining any fucking thing that Michael Douglas does for any reason. Um, I think that's funny.
Wait,
That
who's
it's
not
like
an exposition machine? Michael Douglas, is it?
Michael Douglas is not he wouldn't be an exposition machine
Oh
this
man,
time around.
I feel like
Because in
he.
the first one, he was like, "Oh, this is how this works," blah 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 blah, and he'd go on about like
Yeah, and this one
how
it's just like, well,
Ant-Man
that
works.
just happened because
Yeah,
reasons.
yeah, exactly. I can't talk to him because we can't go there because like that was the exposition in this. Like it was bad.
All right, Nick.
Um,
I think it's time.
let's fucking do this.
I think time.
Let's
We
let's
rank these
do this.
bitches.
We rank these bitches on where we think they go on our list of everything MCU.
Indeed. Would you like me to
Uh,
read this, or would you like to read it?
yeah, you can read it. I'm just gonna blow it up a little bit so that you can see it. How's that?
I
Okay.
can see it. I got it.
Okay. All right.
At number 1 is Loki, maybe? At number
Maybe.
2 is Iron Man. Number 3 is Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. Number 4 is Avengers Infinity War. Number 5 is Spider-Man No Way Home. Number 6 is Thor Ragnarok. Number 7 is Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 8 is WandaVision. Number 9 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Number 10 is Eternals. Number 11 is Captain America Civil War. Number 12 is Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Number 13 is Spider-Man Far From Home. 14 is Spider-Man Homecoming. 15 is Captain America The First Avenger. 16 is Ant-Man. 17 is Black Panther. 18 is Doctor Strange. 19 is The Avengers. 20 is Hawkeye. 21 is Black Widow. 22 is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. 23 is Iron Man 3. 24 is Avengers Age of Ultron. 25 is Iron Man 2. 26 is Incredible Hulk. 27 is Thor The Dark World. And 28 is Thor. I think I know where I want to put this.
Can I go first though?
Please,
I think
I want you to go first.
because you went first with Infinity War.
Okay, yeah, go for
And
it.
I have very strong feelings about this movie, and I know exactly where I want to put it.
Okay, where do you think?
I want to put it after Thor: The Dark World.
Wow.
Yeah. Just thinking about it now. I was, when we started this, going to put it below Incredible Hulk because I found Incredible Hulk more entertaining, honestly, than this movie. But then I thought about it. I'm like, what's the story in Thor: The Dark World? That's followable. Like the characters kind of suck, but it's a better story. This is just awful. Nothing's explained. There's almost literally no reason to have this story at all. And that's where I would put it. Where would you have put it?
I was going to put it right below Iron Man 2.
Okay.
So not far off.
Not far
And
off.
I was going to put it below Iron Man 2 because Iron Man 2 has Justin Hammer.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I love him.
Yeah.
I love Justin Hammer, and I think this movie. This movie is better than Incredible Hulk just because Paul Rudd's funny, and Luis is funny, and there's some funny moments, and I laughed a couple times, and some of the visuals are okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Incredible Hulk is still better though.
And also that end credit scene is cool.
Yeah, that's the best part of the movie is
Yeah.
something that you should just be able to skip.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a cool end credit scene. I like it.
I'd say we could split the difference on this one. I don't think it goes above Incredible Hulk.
Okay,
though.
whatever.
You want? Okay.
At this point, like, we're so low, I don't really care.
Okay.
Like, whatever. We're just splitting hairs here.
Yeah, this is a bad movie. Don't see this movie if you can help it. It's
It's
Oof.
it's totally like whatever. It's a whatever.
very, very skippable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh. Osh, but gosh. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay tuned next week when we go over another not so revered movie called Captain Marvel. And I've only seen it once. So it
Yeah,
should
I
be
think
interesting. I don't
it
know.
is interesting. I'm going to make a prediction here. I think I like it more than Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I think so.
I
I
think
think
that's my
so.
prediction right now.
Um, yeah, we'll see. If you want to watch that, tune in next week at around 5 o'clock on twitch.tv/lonercast on Monday, and it'll also be on YouTube at yeah. Follow the
Thursdays usually.
show. Yeah, follow the show.
Actually,
Lonercast one.
come to think of it, next week we might actually take the week off
Uh, you might be
because
right.
the Batman.
The Batman. I hear that's getting real good reviews too.